Hey, just checking in. So, wanted to share a little bit about yoga because what yoga actually means is union, and the idea of yoga was to bring people to unity consciousness, to oneness, to basically the highest state, to enlightenment, you could say. And there are several hindrances to that, and one hindrance is just unrest in the body. It's just lack of energy, lack of restfulness, lack of being able to just sit quietly and watch the mind. So the idea was to first basically prepare the body for meditation, which is, of course, part of what yoga traditionally is about. Like, another part is just to keep the body youthful and strong. But the idea of yogis was, in the first place, to get people ready for these higher states of meditation, for samadhi and enlightenment in the end, and also purification. So one of the things that has been shown over and over with yoga is that it could be a trigger for trauma. So that means the body stores trauma, and yoga is a facilitator for that healing, because with such certain poses and with certain meditativeness, you can basically experience that energy, even that kundalini energy, or that stored energy, that stuck energy, with your yoga practice. So this is interesting. That's always why it's good to try poses that maybe you resist a little bit, not poses that of course you can't do medically or anything like that, but just always to go a little bit with the resistance. Actually, the same goes for your meditation practice. At the start you want to build momentum, but then at some point with the meditation practice you want to go to parts that feel uncomfortable. To enable to expand your consciousness, you actually reclaim part of your consciousness first. And then, of course, at some point you find out it's not your personal consciousness, but it's just consciousness in general. You basically free the vessel, and that's what enlightenment partly is about, or a preparatory step is towards it. So the idea, for example, with mindfulness is that I started with basically freeing up the spirit more. I like to do nothing meditation. I like to just being. And then at some point I felt stuck a little bit. I felt I was hitting a plateau. So what I started to do was actually something which was totally against my previous preferences, which is a more concentration type practice, which is very open and very different than the open style mindfulness practices that I had been doing, but also, Dzogchen or traditional just sitting Zazen type of practice, which has open awareness. This was more a concentration type practice where I focused a lot on the body. So you could say it's a basic body scanning, but it's very much more than that. It's actually Vipassana. It's like a very deep Buddhist technique. You go into, where you feel tension. You scan the body, but you also look for places that actually don't feel good, that feel yucky, where you see the energy is stuck. You try to release that energy. So in order for us to become one again, you could say, which we already are, but let's say to realize that and also embody that, it's really good to let the energy flow, and also to understand how to go deeper and into unity. And that's, for me, I'm a rational guy, you could say, or I don't like, let's say, this woo-woo stuff. I like making mindfulness, enlightenment, meditation, yoga, things like that, make them accessible, but also talk about them in a way which is actually practical. Instead of me using all these fancy terms, I try to reduce it to easy understandable terms. So I hope that comes through. But much love to you. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Maybe you have any questions for me, just let them know in the comments, and very curious how you're doing. And of course, happy Easter. Bye bye.